Raise your hand, we'll get a mic to you.
Don, was this what you were talking about, not having Tyler making a difference?
No, this was a great game because they spread the court and had all 5 guys that could drive. We got 3 guys that refuse to move their feet. They turn sideways and think it's high school and they're going to block it at the rim. So they're all layups and ones, and if they miss it, their weak side rebounder rebounds it. And that's why we needed to play this kind of game. They also trapped and did some good things, and I'm happy that we got to see Isaiah, you know, the beginning of the game. He just, 3 turnovers in 3 minutes. Yeah, okay now. Not an easy position to play. Jamal didn't play in the first half. Scow really gave us nothing the whole game. But this is a good thing because now, I mean, Alex gave us nothing in the first half. So you got to take stock. The thing about elite athletes and world-class athletes, they can evaluate their performance and say, all right, I got to fix this. They self-evaluate, and that's what this team needs to do. Without Tyler, it's obvious we're not the same team. I mean, unless you were watching another game. We're not the same team, but it still doesn't mean we shouldn't play hard and guys shouldn't battle and fight for balls. We got beat to everything in the first half. Now, this team, they're going to win a lot of games. They had San Diego State and Maryland to the wire. They had us on the ropes. Think about that. Those are the kind of games they played. And they've lost them, but they played them. I think Dan has done a great job playing the way they have to play. They were just tougher than us. We were lucky to out-rebound because they out-rebounded us 20-12 at half. They out-rebounded us by 8. And it could have been more. I mean, a couple of them, the shot went up and we ran from a guy and they jumped over top of us and not fouling. Just we didn't want to block out. Just grabbed a couple.
Cal, you were obviously not happy with Marcus at South Florida, the way sort of his
He was
effort
great
and his
today.
focus. And
Ooh, was he good.
what
If he doesn't, Marcus Lee doesn't play, we lose. Because I had to get Scow out and I had to get Alex out. Tried to play Derek, and again, you see him in that isolation, having to guard the ball. He's struggling. And again, the guy that changed the game was Dom. Dom did what he did at the Michigan game a couple years ago. He went in and guarded that player and said, I can do it. And then he made some free throws. See, it is demoralizing when guys go up and miss 4 front-end one-on-ones in the first half and we miss 10 free throws. 4 of them front-end one-on-ones. That's like missing 14 free throws. It is demoralizing. Now, you can miss a couple, but you can't miss them all and expect to be on that court. You just can't. So, again, self-evaluate. I'm going to get to that line. I'm going to want to be at that line. I'm not going to shoot air balls from the foul line. It's not going to be who I am.
did you have to say to Marcus coming out of that last game and going into this one?
Well, obviously you know what I said. Alex started.
Coach, can you talk about your team? What were your thoughts when you guys got off to that slow start?
It was as much them as it was us, and it was Isaiah, again, the turnovers he had, the reason I was on him, he had the lob the first play. If you've watched this team for the last 7 years, that's all we throw. So you can run back and try to get the lob if you can. Maybe give us a layup, but we're going to lob it. He threw a direct pass. Like, what did you, the very first play. And that's how we come out of the gate. We're down 7, whatever it was. And we were lucky to be in the game at halftime. I even told them this is the greatest thing for this team right here to have to deal with. Look, you don't want to go through a season where every game's easy. This stuff is not easy. And so this was a hard game for us. This was, to be honest, the schedule we played to this point has not been easy for us. We had 4 freshmen out there today. I mean, come on. Somebody told me the other day, your team a couple years ago, in that game, we had 5 freshmen. We're playing 5 freshmen. Well, they should execute better. Really? They just got done playing AAU 2 months ago.
John, could you kind of update Tyler? Also, is it getting to the point you are worried about whether you're going to be a good shooting team with the foul line?
Tyler wasn't there. And there's a couple guys that they just can't be in much at crunch time. You're not going to be in there. Because, the other team basically with 3 minutes to go is just going to start following you and you. So as soon as I see it, then you got to come out of the game. You can't be in. I mean, it's obvious. You're sitting there saying, Cal, they're just going to foul these two guys. I know. And they can't be in. And that's their choice, not any of us. But, you know, these guys are not bad shooters. Right now, we're 2 for 12. You know, Dom was 0 for 3. Isaiah was 0 for 2. It's about that. Maybe 1 for 5. I'd have been happier. But you have Tyler and you have Jamal. You're hoping Derek can go in and make a 3 or so. But the reality of it is that you have 2. And most teams like us, that's what you have. You have 2 really good 3-point shooters. And the other guys for us are good drivers.
You update Tyler a little bit. Is there any update with him?
I doubt if he practices tomorrow. We're going to travel and practice out in L.A. But I would tell you, he probably needs to practice the next day, Wednesday, before we play on Thursday, to see if he can go. And if he can't go, we'll go as is. Play with what we have.
John, Coach Muller suggested that you did not go to scale in the post or mid-post as a lesson to, if you want the ball, you got to play tougher and compete harder.
No, we tried to. He couldn't catch it. We were trying to go to him. Matter of fact, I told guys, if he's open and you don't throw it to him, you're coming out. Think about that. That's where he is right now, and it's okay. I mean, he's not, you know, he's not figured some of this stuff out. He's not figured how to play lower than the other guy. He's not figured out that I got to move my feet and quit grabbing people. But that's okay. And he is a really, really good player who is behind. And the good news is we have Alex and Marcus, and if he's not playing well, we can still win. As we, you know, we just try to make sure he's getting better and better.
Cal, what's the difference between Marcus Lee Friday and Marcus Lee today? What makes the difference between him on those two?
One of the things I told him, if you're not playing with energy, I'm not playing you. You know, you got a player like Marcus Lee who, if he's to make it, it's going to be on one thing. He's an energy guy who can cover a bunch of positions and flies, and you need that kind of player on your team. But if he's not playing with energy, you get what you have in South Florida. You have a guy that's, you know, just out there, and it's like, well, what did he do? And he's capable, but it's hard. I mean, to play with that kind of energy, to come out and make that who you are, I mean, it's hard. You have bags under your eyes, you can't do it. You have sleepies in the corners, you can't do it. I mean, you got to prepare all day to come out to play with unbelievable energy. I know who I am. No, I'm not a great shooter. No, I'm not a great free throw shooter, but I can dunk balls, I can rebound, I can block, I can guard 4 positions, and I can play with unbelievable energy. But I'd rather not, because that's really hard. I mean, that's, you know, and it's what I was getting on Alex about. I mean, he got beat to balls again. No way. Scout got beat to balls today. They want it more than you. One time he said, I tried. You what? I tried. Okay, you're not trying hard enough. Next guy. I mean, that's holding them accountable, and, you know, and you win by 12 in an easily game we could have lost.
Coach, a lot of tough venues, obviously, in college basketball. Do you feel like you have the best home court advantage?
I don't know. I mean, I think we're one of them. I'll tell you what makes a home court advantage where you have it. Great fan base is important, but there are other teams that have great fan bases. It's having really good players. Then you got a great home court. So our home court advantage has been our players and our fans. They come every game, but it's been good. You have these fans and they're going nuts, and you have a bad team. We've had that here too. It's hard to win.
Jamal, how did you think he played?
First half, I thought he was non-existent. Second, what I'm trying to get him to do is get fouled. He's still flipping balls. He's still trying to avoid and do some spectacular, like, did you see that? But you can't win playing that way. Winning basketball is you get fouled. And again, I thought I don't know what he had at half. Did he have any points at half? 2? He has 15 or 16, 14 in the second half. He should be a player that's getting 10 points a half. Easy. And I'm going to guess 4 of those points should be on free throws. but you got to play that way. You got to want to create the contact. You know, the time he went in and bang and hit it, and he's just going to make two. Stops the game, we can press, but they're all learning. They're all learning.
Please keep in mind we won't have the media outs ready for UCLA, so if you've got questions, now's the time.
Coach, is this a good stretch for your team, not only coming off a competitive game like this, but going straight into your first true road game of the season?
Well, if Tyler is healthy, yeah. If he's not healthy, no, it's bad timing. But we'll see. You know, he was half coaching on the bench telling me who to take out. Take him out. Who? You know who.
John, playing at the Pauley Pavilion, if you've done that before, is it a, not thrill, I guess, but does it get your attention to play in an iconic place like that?
Yeah, I've been on that campus a few times. It's unbelievable. You know, UCLA is just, it's one of those schools that has the opportunity to do everything in basketball and football and if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can check it out other than Jerry, but I think they've won more national titles in all sports than any other program. The campus, which is, you know, it's kind of landlocked because it's in where it is in Westwood, but they redid Pauley. I've seen it. Really nice building. The Hall of Fame there. They have John Wooden's office, the way it was encased. The history of that program, and I think us having an opportunity to go there, we're going to have a couple days to practice to see if we get some stuff fixed here. You know, it's going to be neat. A neat trip.
Cal, do you have any relationship with Wooden?
You know what I did, and it's funny. I played in his Classic. We were the first team. I was at UMass, and they had the John Wooden Classic, and I believe it was '95. And the three other teams were Kentucky, Kansas,
UMass,
North Carolina,
UCLA.
It's UCLA. So who was it again, Jerry?
UMass, Kentucky, Kansas, and UCLA.
Who doesn't belong in that bunch? And I got to spend time with him, and I later called him in 2010. He had a great thing he said to me. I said, "Are you watching my team?" He said, "Yes, I am, Coach." And I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Well, you may not agree, but I think you're playing too many people." He said, "They should earn their minutes in practice, and you should play 6 or 7 guys, and that's who you should play, because that's how you become a good team." And you know what? Jackie Lehman told me the same thing when I was at UMass, who coached Julius Erving. And they are right. My best teams that I've coached have always been playing 5 and 6 guys. By the end of the season, they're unbelievable teams. He said, "But I understand why you do it. Recruiting and transfers and all the other things, you got to. But understand that the way you're going to build your best team is play less people." And that was in 2010. I can still remember I was in Florida, getting ready to play Florida when I called him. And he had watched. But I had talked to him a couple different times, and you know, after that event, and so.
Time for 2 quick ones.
Coach, last year you guys, of course, got out to that 24-0 run on UCLA. Can you take anything from that game
No.
going into this one?
No. I tell you what, if they watch this game, they're going to post us up. Tony Parker's going to, every time they throw it, they're going to go at our bigs. So we better have some ideas of what we're going to do. Steve's terrific at what he does. He's figured it out. I've coached against him a couple times. Last year was an outlier. You know, I had a ridiculous team. And they would go into a game like that to smoke somebody, like they did Kansas. You know, they would go in with that mentality. This team we don't have that mentality.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks.